Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. So in this week's episode we're looking at people that are hungry for success, but will they actually do what it takes to succeed? Let's go. Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. So in this week's episode, this is born out of a LinkedIn post that I put up last week, and if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, you're more than welcome to. Send me a connection request. There's a link to my LinkedIn profile in the comments. And we're looking at people that are hungry to succeed, but will they actually do what it takes to be successful? So recruitment is very positive if you're good at it, and we've eulogised about the benefits of being in recruitment for a long time now if you've been a follower of the channel for a while. And some of the positives that come with being successful in recruitment: you earn good money, you get promotion, as we've spoken about before. It's a meritocracy ordinarily, rather than the fact that the longest serving person in the business gets the promotion. There's an element of flexibility with the role. It can be done from home. You will get hybrid working in most cases. If you're working for a good employer and you've got kids, they may let you do the school run before you come into the office. It swings and roundabouts, but it offers you flexibility. And obviously it gives you opportunities as well, whether that be to move abroad, as some of our staff have done in the past, and some people I know in the industry have done. They've relocated to foreign countries. Or look at people like myself. It's given me the opportunity to branch out, set up my own business and really start to try and drive change and build a really successful business within the market. So I think we would all agree that people are hungry for those things. The reason that I wanted to raise this is I think COVID's had a lot to do with this, but people want the success, they want all the benefits that come with the success, but are they really driven to do what it takes to succeed? And people were sat at home for 12 months or however long it was during COVID, earning 80% of the salary, not having to work, not having to have all the outgoings. And I feel like we've got into a position a little bit where some people, not everybody, but some people want that success, but they're not prepared to put the effort in to get the success. So what does it take to succeed in recruitment? And I'm kind of stripping this back a little bit to ground zero. Are you getting into recruitment as a trainee, and what would you need to do to succeed? Well, the first thing is you need to give it time. So there's a saying that I like around investments, whether that be in stocks and shares or property, and that is that time in the market is significantly better than timing the market. So what that means is if you buy an asset and you hold that asset for the long term, invariably it will rise in value, and it's significantly easier to do that than to try and time the market and buy a property at its lowest value, or buy a stock or a share at its lowest value in the hope that it'll go up. And it's the same in recruitment. You've got to give it time. Recruitment is not something that you can just pick up and be uber successful with consistently from the off. Some people will be successful quite early on. However, to be really successful, you've got to build a network, and you've got to have a niche, and you've got to know about your niche, and we'll come on to that in a little bit, but you've got to have a network within your niche. And that takes time. It takes time to build. It takes time to meet people, to build those relationships, to have people come into you, to have people believe in you, potentially as you develop, setting up podcasts or roundtables or white papers, and really being the specialist in your market. And that takes time. It's not something that you can get on day two of being in recruitment. So if you think you're going to go into recruitment on day one, and by day two, the money, the promotion, the flexibility, the opportunities will follow, it's not true. If you can hear the siren, don't worry, they're not coming for me on this occasion. So you've got to put time aside, you've got to put time into it, you've got to be patient with it. But obviously you can see the green shoots along the way as well. And that comes from consistent activity. So there's no point being in a role for a long period of time if you're not putting the activity in, if you're not making the sales calls, if you're not building your network, if you're not putting the LinkedIn content out there, if you're not speaking to candidates, if you're not going meeting candidates and building your knowledge and building your brand within your sector. And it's about doing it consistently. And again, this is something we've spoken about a lot. But again, people that we've had in the business that have spoken to other business owners, and they've had the same issue. People will come in, They don't want to do the sales calls because after COVID there was a massive spike in jobs in the economy and getting jobs was 10 a penny. The issue wasn't getting the jobs, it was finding the candidates, and that's effectively a 180 role, a resources role. And then as soon as the market turned a little bit and you had to fight hard for your vacancies, they weren't doing it. You've got to consistently be doing all aspects of the job all the time. And again, we've spoken about that in previous videos, so feel free to go and look at it. You've got to work hard. So gone are the days now when you can be in the office 14 hours a day and that's be deemed as acceptable. And I don't think you should do that. However, when I got into recruitment, yes, there was weeks where I'd get a job on a Friday afternoon and I'd work all weekend to fill it, to make sure that there was a candidate on site on the Monday, because that's my reputation. If I want to build a good reputation and I want my clients to believe that I've got their back and that I can be trusted on, then I need to make sure that when I get an opportunity, I deliver on it. Now, obviously, as the career progresses, the chance of you needing to do that, chance of you needing to work at weekends, I don't mean work hard, is reduced, because if I get a call on a Friday afternoon now, the chances are, I've been in the industry 20 years, I've got candidates already that can go in and fill the job, so I don't necessarily need to do that. But in the early stages, you've absolutely got to work hard. Your activity, and we say consistent activity, but your activity has to be higher than everybody else's. You've got to speak to more clients because it'll take you longer to get jobs. You've got to speak to more candidates because you need to understand the market, and we'll come on to that again a little bit more in a second. But your activity's got to be higher than everybody else's because your ability is lower. And as you progress, that activity level will probably drop down, because you've got a better network. You've got, if you've got a candidate that's available for work, you've probably got clients that you can reach out to and speak to and go and get them an opportunity. When you start, you don't have that client pool. And like I say, vice versa, when I was a trainee, I didn't have the candidate network. So when I got a job late in on a Friday, sometimes, I did have to work on the weekends to make sure that I filled the job. Now, okay, I didn't have any other priorities, shall we say, at the time, like children that take up your time at the weekend. And I don't suggest that you need to work weekends indefinitely, but occasionally you've got to be prepared to work hard. Stay an extra half hour if you need to get a job done. Make sure that you're putting the effort in to deliver for your clients and your candidates. And the last one is to be inquisitive. You've got to learn your market. You've got to learn all the nuances in your market. And the best way of doing that is by speaking to people in your market, by meeting people in your market, and not just going through the basics. How much do you want in your next role? What's your notice period? Actually be inquisitive about the market and understand all the aspects of the market that you're recruiting in, and build that knowledge as quickly as possible, because knowledge is power. So I think we can probably agree that most people are hungry to succeed. The question is, are you hungry to do what you need and what it takes to succeed? And I think that's where there's a little bit of discrepancy at the minute. Not in everybody, but I see a lot of people, not necessarily that work for Rogers McHugh, but they say they want to be successful, their actions don't necessarily follow that. If you want to be successful, you've got to do what it takes to be successful. Hope you've liked that. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. Put your comments in as well. What do you think? Is there anything that I've missed? Do you think this is fair? Do you think that my comments are fair? But most importantly, like I say, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get the videos out to as many people as possible, and the YouTube algorithms love subscribers. So subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and we'll see you next time.